Hello my dear friends, and welcome to episode 21 of our journey through 1940s cooking and stories. But today's episode is a little different. As many of you know, a very special weekend is approaching. All the Christians are looking forward to Easter. That means that our homes are full of both spiritual and culinary preparations, and we are very busy these days. Our house smells like spices, cakes, food, icon salad. We read more prayers than usually during this period of time, and everyone is generally a bit busier than usually, but very joyfully so. So, I'm going to tell you also a little bit about myself and my journey and how I ended up starting this channel. Let me give you a little glimpse of how the Orthodox Easter preparations look like. So today I will be setting up this basket that will be filled with different items that we fasted from during the Lent period, such as wine, cheeses, baked goods, sweetbreads, meats, butter, eggs, that I will color in different colors, especially the significant color is color red. Then we will take the basket with the contents to the midnight service, and after the services the priest will bless the basket and its contents, and then we will share with our friends and family, which is a very beautiful tradition. I also set up several little baskets that will be filled with more or less the same goods, and we will be taking them to gift to our friends and family that we will visit throughout the whole Easter week and celebrate together with them. And I will also bake kulich, a traditional tall Easter bread that is rich in eggs, milk, butter, sugar, which in 1940s would be a great luxury to have. But as we know, communities still manage to celebrate with traditional foods by doing it collectively, sharing the products and giving to each other and helping and supporting each other. This is the tin I'm going to use to bake my bread. With the ingredients I have in here, I hope to make 3 of those, but I actually will make one like this and one larger tin. So what do we have in here? So lots of things in great amounts. Thinking about the rationing, that would be definitely a big stretch, and I would actually say would be impossible for one family to gather all those ingredients. So this amount of bread, 3 of this size, will require 3 eggs, 100 ml of cream, 200 grams of sugar, 100 grams of melted butter, 150 grams of raisins, 600 grams of flour, 200 ml of milk, some vanilla essence, 14 grams of fast yeast. Did I miss anything else? Well, and a pinch of salt. Plus, you will need some more sugar, icing sugar, to decorate the top of the bread as well. So these are the ingredients to bake 3 breads of this size, and it's the time for me to start. And while I knead the dough and set it to rise, I want to take this opportunity to share a little bit about myself and my background, and about Easter and how it was celebrated in Orthodox Christian community who lived in Britain in the 1940s. Okay, let's start baking kulich and Easter bread. So we need 3 eggs, 200 grams of sugar, pinch of salt, and some vanilla extract, around teaspoon or more if you like it. Beat well until white and fluffy and foamy. In 1940s Britain, Orthodox Easter was quietly but lovingly celebrated by Russian, Greek, Serbian, Ukrainian communities. Many had come to as immigrants, foreign workers or diplomats, but many, like in the story I imagine for myself, came as political refugees. My own family would have fit that category if believed then. We would have run from a Soviet regime that persecuted faith, that closed and destroyed churches, and forced people to either deny God or suffer. Next we add 100 ml of cream. The percentage of fat doesn't really matter. 100 grams of melted butter. And 200 ml of warm milk. Mix it all up. In a separate bowl, you will need to sift the flour next. So I will just keep a teaspoonful for my raisins to coat them in flour. And then the rest I will sift. Then add 2 sachets or 14 grams altogether of instant yeast to your flour. And just gently give it a stir. And next we need to gradually add the flour into the wet ingredients, mixing continuously. So you can either use a mixer, I have the dough hooks in here, or you can do it manually. So it's up to you what you prefer. We will add raisins coated in a teaspoon of flour. So I'm just going to make sure it's all nicely coated like this. Next, we're going to add the raisins into the dough. If you are not satisfied with the consistency of your dough, you can always add a little bit more flour. Now, you need to cover your dough with the cling film or lid and set aside in the warm place and leave it to rise for 2 hours around. And off you go to warm up. I put my dough into the opened oven. I set it up on 55 degrees. That's really the warmest place in the house I have right now. because it's quite warm outside, so we don't use the heating today. I usually put it right next to the radiator, but because this is off now, I just try to do it like this. We'll see if it will work. When communists came to power in Russia, they gave people a choice: God or suffering. Many chose cross over denial, others followed the communists. Other people, like my grandmother, practiced their faith in secret, behind closed doors, whispering her prayers and secretly baptizing her children. On this channel, you follow a story of the 1940s mother who I portray, the woman whose life is deeply rooted in faith. She fled the Soviet regime, and the joy of freedom did not last for too long. Once catching a breath from Soviet persecution in Britain, the Second World War broke out. My character is who I truly am. I strongly identify with her. I come from a Russian, Polish, Jewish background, just like my character. And if I were given the choice between God or the regime, the answer would be clear. I would have to run, or I would suffer in socialist Russia, or possibly die. That's how in the story I tell here, my family ends up in Britain. The cross that many people like that carried during that time. While my dough is rising, I'm going to have a cup of coffee and tell you a little bit more about myself, since this episode is more personal. I grew up in a post-Soviet republic where life was tough. Make do wasn't just a phrase for us, it was our daily way of life. I remember as a child standing in lines with cardboard ration cards to get 1.5 loaves of bread for a family of 6. It was in early 90s. There were always things impossible to get. For a child, it was very difficult to understand, why can't we have this? Why can't we have that? Only after becoming an adult, it gave me perspective. My family history shaped me. But what truly formed me into the woman, the mother, and the wife I am today was my faith. It's the crucified Christ who helps me through every turmoil, every uncertainty. In Him I find all my strengths. I started this channel because I've always been deeply drawn to history. History was my favorite subject at school, especially in 1940s, time of hardship, resilience and courage, the time that affected my family directly. The communism on one side, fascism on the other, two devils, one destroying from the outside and one within. I'm a psychologist and translator by professional training, but history and art lover at heart. My own family history, shaped by the struggles of the Soviet Union, lives alongside the stories of the British people and so many others who endured those difficult years. I also love cooking, and I believe that food carries stories. It's one of the most powerful ways we can connect to the past. By cooking the meals people ate during those difficult times, simple, Russian, often resourceful dishes, we get a small taste of their world. We can't truly understand what they went through, but when we pair the stories of the past with the tastes of their daily life, we can come just a little closer. It's my way of paying tribute to the strengths of those who lived through the 1940s, in Britain and beyond. Through this channel, I hope to honor their memory and bring a bit of living history to life, one meal at a time. And here is my dough, and my tin forms are all ready for the dough to be transferred and shared between 3 of them. Oh, it's alive. I can see some little bubbles. Okay, so time to put it into the tins now. I'm going to put some oil into my hands so the dough doesn't stick. This just smells amazing. Oh, I love the smell of the growing Easter bread dough. Very fluffy. Okay, I'm going to use this spoon to help me to transfer the dough now. Okay, let's go. Smells amazing. This consistency should make my Easter bread very fluffy and light. It looks quite runny, but it should be fine when it is baked. It will go to stand for another maybe 1.5 hours. Transfer into a tall tin. This is the danger of parchment paper. I always have that. The breads grew really nicely, so I'm going to bake now for 40 minutes at 180 degrees. And if you see that the top is getting a little bit too burnt, you can always cover it with a parchment paper or a tin foil. And here are my Easter breads all ready. So I decorated with icing sugar, with I used egg white with a bit of a lemon juice, and the icing sugar I just kept adding until I get the right consistency. And then I cut out the icing sugar on top. I pressed with the spoon, decorative spoon, around, so we've got little flowers here. And then I wrote with the icing sugar pens on top, HV, which means Christos Voskres, Christ is risen. And then I just sprinkled with some decorative sprinkles on top of that. So that's the decoration bit. And now we are in our living room. And this is our beautiful icon corner, which is the center of an Orthodox Christian home. This is where we gather to pray every day. We're a family of 4, and our family consists of me, Olga, my husband Daniel, our little son John, who you always hear in the background in all my videos, and my dear grandmother, who lives with us and who herself lived through the Second World War as a child. We are a very close family and we love each other deeply. So today, as we prepare our Easter bread and basket, as we look forward to the midnight Paschal liturgy, like in our church in Manchester, where prayers begin at 6 p.m. and the Divine Liturgy starts at midnight and ends around 2:30 a.m. We are not just celebrating tradition, beautiful baskets and foods. We are living the tradition. We are continuing the faith of our ancestors, the faith of the martyrs, and the unshakable hope of the resurrection. Christ is risen, my dear friends. I wish you peace, love, and joy in your homes. Thank you for being part of my little world. It means more than I can ever say.